こんにちは。今日のスピーキングを始めます。Massage. Massage is a proven cure to stress. No one knows precisely how the massaging of fresh quiets the stress response, but the effects can be dramatic. Over the past 23 years, psychologist Tiffany Field of the University of Miami Touch Research Institute has published studies suggesting it can hasten weight gain in early birth babies, improve lung function in asthmatics, and increase the immune function in men with HIV. Healthy people may benefit too. In a 1986 study, medical workers who got 10 biweekly massages on time outscored their colleagues who didn't receive massages on timed mass test. There are many other options, from yoga to biofeedback to music therapy, and none of them excludes the others. So do what works for you. And whether you go to church, join a support group, or start a diary, find a way to talk about your feelings. Studies suggest that group support can extend the lives of people with skin or breast cancer. And researchers showed recently that people with asthma or rheumatoid arthritis could ease their sickness by writing about the most stressful events in their lives. How can such different exercises have such similar benefits? The key experts agree is that they fight feelings of helplessness. Anything that encourages a sense of control, putting a terrible memory into words, calming a racist heart through breathing exercises, even planning your own funeral, let you stop feeling like a victim. Obesity. In a society in which obesity is a principal nutritional disease, one easily forgets the horrible things that lack of food and drink can do to the human body. Yet obesity itself is merely a form of hunger in disguise. The specter of overweight stalks some of us the way starvation stalks others. That is because we humans have long developed the ability both to eat and to overeat. The stomach bears witness, though it is a small muscular sac when empty. It readily expands to take in several pounds of food at a time, booking meals of 10,000 or more calories, both non-mechanical or physiological problems. Healthy people who have endured considerable weight loss over a number of months as a result of food deprivation can eat in great volume. After volunteers in a famous laboratory hunger study returned to eating freely, their daily consumption rose to 10,000 calories. Yet no matter how hungry at the outset, human beings do not ordinarily continue to starve themselves so resolutely that they sway to gigantic proportions. We have an almost irresistible urge to eat, but we also have at least some built-in controls that reduce our appetite for food and that limit the accumulation of excess fat. Sports medicine. Sports medicine encompasses 4 areas: preparation of the athlete, prevention of injury or illness, diagnosis and treatment of injury, and rehabilitation. Physical preparation involves a program of conditioning exercises designed to develop certain muscle groups and to increase cardiac output and oxygen intake. Mental preparation focuses on building self-image, maintaining motivation and discipline to train regularly, avoiding undue risks, and learning to accept whatever changes in lifestyle may be necessary. Mental preparation also helps the athlete to handle the psychological stress associated with the risk of injury or illness. Practitioners of sports medicine advise manufacturers on the development of equipment that enhances performance and promotes the health and safety of athletes. Athletic shoes, for instance, are continually improved to boost athletes' speed and endurance while providing comfort and protection from injury. New materials make sportswear more comfortable and protective and can increase performance by decreasing friction and resistance. Nutrition is a critical aspect of sports medicine. The wrong diet can seriously impair an athlete's performance and health. Nutritional counseling by trained professionals can ensure that athletes have what they need in terms of nutrient adequacy, energy requirements, proteins and carbohydrate distribution, timing of meals, and fluid intake. In the late 20th century, increasing attention was given to athletes' use of so-called performance-enhancing drugs, such as amphetamines and anabolic steroids. Today, practitioners of sports medicine must be prepared to advise athletes about the serious health risks associated with such drug use. Conversion of energy. Beginning in the year 1840, James Joule performed a long series of experiments to study the conversion of mechanical energy to heat. In one experiment, he used the barrel to heat water by rotating a paddle wheel inside the barrel. He measured the work done in turning the wheel and the heat produced in the water, and found that the given amount of work always produced the same amount of heat. Later experiments show that heat and mechanical energy are always converted back and forth in precisely the same ratio. We now know that the same rule is true for all forms of energy. In everyday terms, energy is never lost. When it disappears in one form, it always shows up in an equal amount in another form. This principle, known as the law of conservation of energy, is one of the fundamental laws of classical physics and is a very cornerstone of modern science and technology. When it comes to the subject of energy, we should understand why a nation like the United States cannot solve its energy problems by operating automobiles on electricity instead of gasoline. It should be clear by now that electrical energy is no easier to come by than the chemical energy in gasoline. Neglecting engine efficiency for the moment, it takes the same amount of energy to move an automobile a given distance regardless of the initial source of that energy. If all our autos run on electricity, that energy could be supplied only by burning additional fossil or nuclear fuel at our electricity generation plants. It is true, of course, that electrical motors are more efficient than gasoline engines, but this advantage might well be offset by the weight of the batteries to be carried about. Analysis and mechanics. The scientific revolution has bequeathed to mathematics a major program of research in analysis and mechanics. The period from 1700 to 1800, the century of analysis, witnessed the consolidation of the calculus and its extensive applications in mechanics. With expansion came specialization. Different parts of the subject acquired their own identity. Ordinary and partial differential equations, calculus of variations, infinite series, and differential geometry. The applications of analysis were also varied, including the theory of the vibrating string, particle dynamics, the theory of rigid bodies, the mechanics of flexible and elastic media, and the theory of compressible and incompressible fluids. Analysis and mechanics developed in close association, with problems in one giving rise to concepts and technique in the other, and all the leading mathematicians of the period made important contributions to mechanics. The close relationship between mathematics and mechanics in the 18th century had roots extending deep into Enlightenment thought. In the organizational chart of knowledge at the beginning of the preliminary discourse to Encyclopedia Dunbart, distinguished between pure mathematics, geometry, arithmetic, algebra, calculus, and mixed mathematics, mechanics, geometric astronomy, optics, art of conjecturing. Mathematics generally was classified as the science of nature and separated from logic, a science of man. The modern disciplinary division between physics and mathematics and the association of the latter with logic had not yet developed. 終わり。